Okay, let's jump right into it. Now, Satyajit Ray is widely celebrated all over the globe as one of India's absolute greatest filmmakers. But honestly, his written stories, they hold this incredible timeless magic all of their own. Today, we are exploring his classic 1960s sci-fi tale, Bonku Babu's Friend. It's this brilliant little explainer of an alien encounter mixed with a very grounded, very human journey about finding your courage. It's a fascinating read that actually served as a massive inspiration for Indian science fiction as a whole.
But hey, before we actually meet our main character, I want to pose a quick question to you. Have you ever bitten your tongue when you really should have spoken up? You know, maybe against a clear injustice, or a snide remark, or even a full-on bully. It's a totally universal feeling, and this explainer is fundamentally about that exact social evil, and how sometimes it literally takes an out-of-this-world perspective to make us realize our own worth right here on Earth.
So let's set the scene with the downright tragic daily life of our guy Bonku Babu. He's a gentle geography and Bengali teacher at a village primary school. And get this, for 22 long years, he has endured just relentless, humiliating pranks. And we're not just talking about his students, though they do draw mean cartoons of him, put sticky glue on his chair, and even set off fireworks right behind him. No, it's also his so-called adult friends. I mean, just recently, these grown men orchestrated this whole fake attack in the dark. Someone dressed as a spook literally jumped on his back, covered in black ink, injuring his neck and ruining his brand new clothes.
Now you'd think, after all that, he'd just explode, right? Nope. Despite all of this torment, no one has ever seen Bonku Babu get angry. He remains the ultimate pushover. Why? Well, practically speaking, he desperately needs his job. He knows how hard it would be to find another one at his age, so he swallows his pride. But there's a sweeter reason, too. He genuinely loves teaching. In every class, there are always a few really good students, and he absolutely loves telling them these fascinating tales about the North Pole, life in Africa, or the piranhas of Brazil. He's a good, smart man, completely trapped by his own docility.
Things really come into focus during these weekend gatherings, or addas, at the house of a local lawyer, Shripati Babu. The contrast in perspectives here is just painful. One evening, they're talking about space travel and this mysterious moving light people have been seeing in the sky. When Bonku Babu gently suggests that, hey, maybe an alien could visit their own village, the village bullies completely laugh him off. Shripati Babu arrogantly declares that aliens aren't fools, so obviously they'd only land in Western countries. But Bonku Babu brings this quiet, logical curiosity to the table. He's just wondering, in the grand scheme of the entire globe, why couldn't an alien land in a random village?
Well, that exact same evening, the mockery reaches a breaking point. The men openly joke that if aliens ever wanted a human specimen for a zoo, Bonku Babu would be the ideal brainless choice. Ouch, right? Tears actually spring to his eyes. He is completely heartbroken. He leaves the gathering and starts walking home through a bamboo grove on this cold, moonless Saturday night. And right here is where the story shifts beautifully from everyday sadness to some serious, eerie suspense.
Imagine walking alone in the pitch dark, and suddenly you realize something is very wrong. It takes Bonku a second to put his finger on it, but then it hits him. The crickets have completely stopped chirping. This unearthly heavy silence has fallen over the entire bamboo grove. Then, his ears start ringing with this loud, steady humming noise. He's breaking out in goosebumps for sure, but this irrepressible curiosity just pulls him forward, toward a strange, glowing pink light in the distance.
He pushes past the bamboo stems and boom! There it is. An incredible spacecraft is resting right there in the clearing. It literally looks like a giant, translucent glass bowl turned upside down over the pond, giving off this radiant pink light that lights up the whole area. He takes a step closer, but suddenly he feels this electric current zap through his body. In an instant, he is completely immobilized. It's like he's tied up with invisible ropes. He can't move a single muscle forward or backward.
Then the humming just cuts out. The glowing object stops breathing, and out of nowhere, this incredibly thin, high-pitched, almost flute-like voice shatters the silence with a bizarre greeting. Mili peeping krook. After a moment, realizing Bonku obviously has no idea what that means, the voice seamlessly cycles through English, asking, "Are you English?" before finally recognizing the location. The voice then greets a totally terrified Bonku Babu in perfect Bengali. Namaskar. The creature introduces himself as Aang, a vastly superior being from the planet Craneus. Now at first, Bonku Babu is almost tempted to laugh because the creature is so tiny, but Aang actually reads his mind.
He playfully lists off his absurdly superior stats to prove a point. I mean, check this out. Aang is 833 years old compared to Bonku's 50. While Bonku knows 2.5 languages, Aang knows 14,000, and 31 of those are from outside our solar system. Plus, Aang has casually visited 25 different planets. It's this fantastic, kind of funny way of establishing exactly where humanity sits in the cosmic hierarchy.
And visually, Aang is a lot to take in. A door slides open in that glass mound, and out steps this creature barely 4 feet tall. His limbs are impossibly thin, and he's wearing a shiny pink outfit. He has a completely smooth head, with just literal holes where his nose, ears, and mouth should be. But the absolute craziest feature, he has these bright, glowing yellow eyes that give off a steady, unblinking stare.
This whole encounter brilliantly shows off Aang's immense power. First, he shows Bonku this paralyzing pebble. It's the ultimate defense. It stops enemies in their tracks without causing any actual physical harm. But then he offers a gift of knowledge. Using a tiny glass viewing tube, Aang visually transports Bonku right to the North Pole to see the aurora borealis and even some fighting walruses. Then, zap, they're looking into the dense forests of Brazil watching piranhas devour a crocodile in seconds. These are the exact wonders Bonku has been teaching his students about for years, and now he's actually seeing them with his own eyes.
And so, we arrive at the absolute core of this explainer. After showing him the universe, Aang gives his honest assessment of the human race, and of Bonku Babu specifically. He basically says, look, you're a good man, but you have one massive fault. You are much too meek and mild. Think about that. An 833-year-old cosmic genius who has literally traveled light years across the galaxy tells a humble village teacher that taking abuse quietly is just flat out wrong. He commands Bonku to speak up, protest against insults, and actually stand his ground.
Funny enough, Aang then realizes he actually took a wrong turn. He was supposed to go to Pluto. So he bids farewell, leaps into his ship, and vanishes right into the night sky. The second he's gone, the crickets start chirping again. As Bonku Babu starts walking home, this profound shift happens in his brain. Out of the billions of people on Earth, he was the one chosen for this. He's not just a punching bag anymore. He is totally, unequivocally unique in the whole wide world. And with that thought, he literally dances his way home.
Fast forward to the very next day, Sunday evening. The local paper is buzzing about strange lights, and, mysteriously, all the leaves have fallen off the trees in the bamboo grove. The village bullies are gathered again, completely clueless about what really happened. They notice Bonku is missing and smugly start wondering why he's late. They fully expect that he's just hiding at home in shame after the awful things they said to him the night before.
Oh man, they could not be more wrong. Bonku doesn't just walk in. He sweeps into the room like a hurricane. He bursts into this uproarious, deafening laugh that goes on for a solid minute. No one has ever heard him make a sound like that. Then he drops the ultimate mic drop. First, he tells them straight to their faces that they speak absolute rubbish. Second, he stares right at Chandi Babu and demands his stolen shoes and umbrella back. He calls Nidhu Babu a nitwit and tells Sripati Babu he's surrounded by pathetic sycophants. Finally, he casually mentions that an alien named Aang visited him last night, slaps one of the guys on the back so hard he chokes, and just strides out whistling.
You can probably guess the reaction. Absolute, stunned silence. The imagery here is just fantastic. As Bonku Babu confidently walks out, a teacup slips right out of young Ramkanai's hand, shattering and splattering hot tea everywhere. The bullies are left entirely speechless. Their 22-year reign of terror is completely broken, all by a man who finally decided his own worth.
So, wrapping up this explainer, let's turn this back to you. Satyajit Ray uses an actual extraterrestrial to give Bonku Babu the perspective he desperately needed, but the message itself is entirely human. We really don't need a visitor from planet Craneus to tell us our value. So what is stopping you from claiming your own worth? Who or what is your Aang? What is the catalyst that will finally make you realize your own uniqueness? And most importantly, when are you going to find that cosmic courage and start speaking up?